Heart disease remains the leading cause of death worldwide, and the numbers are only increasing, casting a shadow over global health. It's particularly troubling because we know there are effective strategies available to reduce these risks, some of which are incredibly accessible. Take, for instance, a strategy that costs just $5.45 a month, yet has the potential to significantly lower the likelihood of heart attacks, despite its proven benefits. However, this approach is surrounded by controversy. While traditional views on heart disease focus heavily on the dangers of high LDL cholesterol, new research is challenging that perspective. Some experts argue that low cholesterol could actually pose a greater risk, and there are those who question the pharmaceutical industry's influence in pushing medications onto patients. This debate opens up a world of possibilities about how we should approach heart disease prevention, and what truly works to protect our heart. But there's one undeniable truth: exercise, particularly cardiovascular activities, stands out as a powerful weapon against heart disease. So, what does the evidence say? And what role does exercise play in keeping our hearts healthy? Let's explore this compelling issue in detail, given the constraints and the complexity of the request. Expanding on these sections will require a highly detailed exploration of the scientific evidence, nuanced arguments, and expert opinions surrounding the issues of cholesterol, heart disease, statins, and lifestyle changes. Here is an extended and detailed exploration of each of these topics. The cholesterol myth debate, a closer look at the evidence. For decades, high cholesterol, particularly high levels of LDL cholesterol, low-density lipoprotein, has been linked to an increased risk of heart disease. This notion has become a cornerstone in cardiovascular health recommendations worldwide. The idea is that excess LDL cholesterol in the bloodstream can lead to the accumulation of plaque in the arteries, ultimately causing blockages that result in heart attacks or strokes. However, recent research is shedding light on the complexity of this relationship and raising questions about the established view on cholesterol's role in heart disease. The complexity of cholesterol and health risks. The conventional wisdom surrounding cholesterol reduction is simple: the higher your LDL levels, the greater your risk of cardiovascular events. As a result, individuals with high LDL cholesterol are often prescribed statins, drugs designed to lower cholesterol levels and reduce the risk of heart disease. But, as with many complex biological processes, the reality of cholesterol's role in health is more nuanced than this straightforward narrative. A particularly revealing aspect of this discussion is the discovery of a U-shaped relationship between cholesterol levels and health outcomes. At the extreme lower end of cholesterol levels, the risks associated with heart disease and other health issues can increase, even though these individuals have low LDL levels. Studies have suggested that individuals with very low levels of LDL cholesterol may actually experience higher rates of mortality, a finding that complicates the widely accepted view that higher LDL cholesterol is always detrimental. A U-shaped relationship between LDL and mortality. Several studies and meta-analyses have shown that both very high and very low LDL cholesterol levels are linked to increased mortality. For example, a study involving over 40,000 participants revealed that after adjusting for confounding factors like age, malnutrition, and pre-existing chronic conditions, the protective effect of low LDL cholesterol disappeared. This finding suggests that there may be a tipping point where too low of an LDL level becomes just as dangerous, if not more so, than high levels. Furthermore, in older adults or individuals with chronic illnesses, low cholesterol levels are often a result of underlying conditions such as liver disease or cancer. These health issues can lead to a decrease in LDL levels without necessarily indicating a healthy cardiovascular profile. This is an important distinction to make when considering the role of cholesterol in health. The role of chronic illness in low LDL levels. For individuals suffering from chronic illnesses, including cancer, liver disease, and other serious conditions, LDL cholesterol levels may be artificially lowered. The relationship between these diseases and low cholesterol is not fully understood, but research has shown that low cholesterol can be a marker for poor overall health. For example, in a study of older adults, very low cholesterol levels were associated with higher rates of frailty and mortality. When researchers accounted for these confounding factors, the U-shaped curve disappeared, and the link between high LDL cholesterol and poor health became more pronounced. Thus, it is not simply high cholesterol levels that are problematic, but rather the interplay between cholesterol and other risk factors that need to be considered. For people without chronic illnesses, elevated LDL cholesterol can increase the risk of heart disease, while for those with chronic illnesses, very low cholesterol can signal underlying health problems and contribute to poor outcomes. Rethinking cholesterol in light of emerging evidence. While the traditional approach to managing cholesterol focuses heavily on lowering LDL levels, recent findings indicate that cholesterol is not the sole determinant of heart disease risk. A holistic approach that takes into account factors such as inflammation, oxidative stress, and arterial health is essential to understanding heart disease risk. It's important to note that maintaining a balance in cholesterol levels is key, not simply reducing LDL cholesterol to the lowest possible number. Newer studies have highlighted the fact that higher levels of HDL cholesterol, high-density lipoprotein, may be more important than previously thought. As HDL helps to clear excess cholesterol from the bloodstream, the overall lipid profile, which includes both LDL and HDL levels, as well as other markers such as triglycerides, must be considered when evaluating heart disease risk. This broader perspective suggests that the conversation about cholesterol is far from settled and requires a more individualized approach to treatment. Dispelling the conspiracy theory. The role of statins in heart disease prevention. Statins are among the most commonly prescribed medications worldwide, used primarily to lower LDL cholesterol and reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease. However, statins have become the subject of considerable controversy, with some critics claiming that pharmaceutical companies are overstating the dangers of high cholesterol in order to sell more drugs. These critics argue that cholesterol is not as dangerous as it is made out to be, and that the push to lower cholesterol is driven by profit motives rather than solid science. Statins and their proven effectiveness. Despite the skepticism surrounding statins, the overwhelming consensus in the scientific community is that statins are effective in reducing the risk of heart attacks, strokes, and other cardiovascular events. A wide body of clinical evidence supports the use of statins, especially for individuals at high risk of cardiovascular disease. Studies have consistently shown that statins significantly reduce the incidence of heart disease, and their effectiveness is enhanced with longer use. The benefits of statins are particularly clear for individuals with high LDL cholesterol levels, and those who take statins for extended periods experience a substantial reduction in their risk of heart disease. This makes statins one of the most cost-effective and widely used treatments for preventing heart attacks and strokes. Addressing the concerns, side effects and myths about statins. One of the most common concerns about statins is the potential for side effects, including muscle pain, cognitive decline, and an increased risk of dementia. Critics of statins often point to anecdotal reports of these side effects, fueling fears among patients. However, research has largely debunked these claims. In fact, studies have shown that the link between statins and dementia is weak at best. The latest clinical guidelines suggest that statins may actually reduce the risk of dementia, contrary to popular belief. Similarly, the fear that statins cause muscle pain is largely unfounded. While some patients may experience mild muscle discomfort, the incidence of serious muscle pain is rare, affecting fewer than 1% of users. Low-dose statins are particularly well tolerated and have been shown to provide the same benefits as higher doses, without the significant risks. The key takeaway here is that the benefits of statins in preventing heart disease far outweigh the potential risks for most people, and the widespread fear of side effects is often exaggerated. Practical advice. Achieving low LDL cholesterol through diet and medication. Achieving optimal LDL cholesterol levels requires a combination of dietary changes and, when necessary, medication. While statins are effective at lowering LDL cholesterol, they are most beneficial when combined with a heart-healthy diet. The importance of diet in managing cholesterol. Diet plays a crucial role in managing cholesterol levels. For years, it was widely believed that dietary fat, particularly saturated fat, was the main contributor to high cholesterol. This led to widespread recommendations to reduce fat intake, especially from sources like butter, fatty meats, and full-fat dairy products. However, newer research has shown that the relationship between dietary fat and cholesterol is more complicated than originally thought. Saturated fats are indeed linked to higher LDL cholesterol levels, but the real culprit in the modern diet is excess sugar and refined carbohydrates. Many low-fat products, for example, are loaded with sugar and other additives, which can actually raise cholesterol levels and increase the risk of heart disease. The key to a heart-healthy diet is not just reducing fat but also focusing on the quality of the fats consumed. Unsaturated fats, such as those found in olive oil, avocados, and nuts, are beneficial for heart health and can help lower LDL cholesterol levels. Replacing saturated fats with these healthier fats can significantly reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease. The role of fiber and plant-based foods. In addition to consuming healthy fats, it is important to increase the intake of fiber-rich foods, particularly fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Fiber helps to lower cholesterol levels by binding to bile acids in the digestive system, which reduces the reabsorption of cholesterol. Plant-based diets, which are rich in fiber, antioxidants, and phytochemicals, have been shown to lower LDL cholesterol and improve overall cardiovascular health. The $5.45 strategy, low-dose statins and their role in prevention. The most cost-effective strategy for preventing heart disease, costing just $5.45 a month, involves the use of low-dose statins. These medications have been shown to significantly reduce LDL cholesterol levels, thereby lowering the risk of heart attacks and strokes. Despite some concerns about the side effects of statins, low-dose therapies are safe and well tolerated by most patients. For individuals who are at risk for heart disease, low-dose statins can be a powerful tool in reducing cardiovascular events. By lowering LDL cholesterol and stabilizing plaque in the arteries, statins help prevent the progression of heart disease and reduce the likelihood of life-threatening complications. Exercise, the key to reversing arterial plaque buildup. While diet and medication are essential for managing cholesterol, exercise is perhaps the most powerful tool in preventing and even reversing heart disease. Regular physical activity, particularly cardiovascular exercise, has been shown to improve cholesterol levels, reduce inflammation, and clear plaque from the arteries. Studies have demonstrated that exercise can significantly reduce the buildup of plaque in the arteries, potentially reversing some of the damage caused by heart disease. Engaging in activities such as walking, running, cycling, or swimming can increase HDL cholesterol levels, which help remove excess cholesterol from the bloodstream. In addition, exercise improves blood circulation and enhances the overall health of the cardiovascular system. The growing debate over cholesterol and heart disease highlights the complexity of our understanding of cardiovascular health. While high LDL cholesterol has long been linked to heart disease, the idea that low cholesterol might be just as dangerous, if not more so, challenges much of what we've been taught. In the midst of this controversy, one fact remains clear: exercise is perhaps the most powerful tool in preventing and even reversing heart disease. Engaging in regular physical activity, whether through walking, running, swimming, or cycling, offers a profound benefit to heart health. Not only does exercise improve cholesterol levels, but it also reduces inflammation, clears plaque from arteries, and enhances overall cardiovascular health. While medications may play a role, the importance of maintaining an active lifestyle cannot be overstated. As we continue to unravel the truth behind heart disease, one thing is certain: a holistic approach, incorporating exercise, diet, and a clear understanding of cholesterol, will remain our strongest defense in safeguarding our hearts for years to come.